Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Hey everyone, David Aragona here with a preview of one of 10 starter stakes races on Saturday at Aqueduct. It is race 8, the Stud Muffin Starter Stakes, going the unique distance of 1 mile and 3/8 on the main track. And as I said, this is a starter stakes race. All of the stakes on this 10 race card at Aqueduct on Saturday are starter stakes races, which that means is they're basically starter allowance races. The conditions of this one are horses who have raced during the past couple of years, 2021 or 2022, for a claiming tag of $25,000 or less are eligible for this race. We've got 10 betting interests signed on as we throw up the field for this race. Actually, 12 horses in total, as there are 2 coupled entries. 10 horses that you can, or 10 betting interests that you can place money on in this race, though. Tough race to make a line for because most of these horses have not tried this mile and 3/8 distance before. I did peg the number 5 Blewitt as the slight morning line favorite at 5-2. He's coming off a pretty nice speed figure and a victory last time. He's been in pretty good form, but he's one of many who has to answer the stamina question as he stretches out an additional 2 furlongs from the farthest distance that he's tried in his career. One horse that should not have problems with the distance is the number 1A Original Intent. He is the stronger half of that 10-strike racing entry that I have pegged as the second choice at 3-1 on the line. The number 4 Air Attack, another horse who has handled the distance before. He is the returning winner of the Stud Muffin from last year. I've got him pegged at 4-1 as the third choice on the morning line. One more page of entries, just a long shot, a huge price. And then the horse on the outside, number 10, there is a Storm Bruin, who is one of the many pace players in this race. And I think that's a good transition to the Timeform US pace projector before we discuss the main contenders. And no surprise when you look through this race, given the amount of horses that want to be forwardly placed, that the pace projector is predicting a fast pace in this race. And there are multiple horses that will be vying for the front end, the most likely of which are the number 8 Bar 14 and the number 10. There is a Storm Bruin. Both of those 2 horses have proven to have done their best running when they're able to secure the front end. But horses like the number 5, Blewitt, has plenty of tactical speed, as does the number 6, Super John, who has shown speed in one-turn races. All 4 of those horses want to be forwardly placed, and arguably all 4 of them have done their best running when they're able to secure the lead by themselves. That's not going to happen in this race, so we'll have to see how quickly they have to go to establish early supremacy, going this demanding 11-furlong distance. Among those that should be relishing some pace ahead of them are the 1A Original Intent. He's that long-winded horse for 10-strike racing, part of that entry, who's not even shown on the pace projector. He is listed as a deep closer, likely to come from far back in this race, especially if they do go quickly up front. Let's start with the contenders, beginning with Blewitt, and take a look at his last race when he won a $32,000 claiming race on March 6th. This was going the 1 1/8 mile distance, 9 furlongs around the Aqueduct Oval, and Blewitt has been a specialist going this distance at Aqueduct, but he's never gone farther than that, so he'll be stretching out an extra 2 furlongs for the first time to try this 1 mile and 3/8 distance in the Stud Muffin. And as you can see, he's drawing away from the field here, just has one challenger in the late stages, Regal Quality, a horse who does like to finish second, and these 2 finish over 10 lengths clear of the rest of the field. Importantly, Blewitt ran well this day, second off the claim for trainer John Toscano. He had previously gotten into great form for the Rob Actress barn when he won 3 and 4 starts back towards the end of his 2021 campaign. Hadn't run so well in his first start off the claim for John Toscano, but got back on track last time, putting forth his best effort in quite some time to earn that 1:13 Timeform US speed figure. And also, he showed a new dimension in that race, stalking the pace, something that's going to be pretty worthwhile for him to be able to do in here with so much other speed signed on. So his prior 2 victories for the Rob Actress barn at the end of 2021, he had set slow paces on each occasion and had really had it all his own way in those races. So nice to see him adapt to a different kind of pace situation last time. He's definitely coming into this race in good form. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to trust him at a relatively short price trying this new distance for the first time. Another horse who could attract some support in this race is part of that 10-strike racing entry, the number 1A, Original Intent. Let's take a look at his race from the end of his 2021 campaign all the way back on May 1st of 2021 when he won a starter allowance race at Oaklawn Park, going the demanding distance of 1 mile and 3/4. That is, I believe, 14 furlongs. So 3 furlongs that he'll be running in the Stud Muffin on Saturday. So clearly stamina is no problem for this gray son of Creative Cause. This 1 3/4 race that they run is a traditional race to end the Oaklawn meet. They run it in the beginning of May now, and this horse was much the best on this day, connecting as the 5-2 favorite. Now, he was laid up for quite some time since then, and he's made 2 starts since returning to the races as a 7-year-old in 2022, and he's finished up the track both times, not particularly strong efforts, but his race off the layoff 2 back, that was only going 1 mile and a 16th, probably just a prep race, and last time out, while he did stretch out to his more preferred distance of 1.5 miles, there was no pace on that day. You see those blue color-coded Timeform US pace figures, and that was also a much, much tougher spot. The top 3 horses that completed the trifecta there, Strong Tide, Cupid's Claws, and Tenfold, they're pretty much stakes quality runners, and you can scan your eyes over to the left-hand side of the screen and see that 1:15 Timeform US race rating for that race, which indicates that was a much tougher race than the field he's going to be meeting in the Stud Muffin. A 1:15 is the kind of race rating you would see perhaps in a listed stakes race. So Original Intent is getting significant class relief as he ships into Aqueduct to try this starter stakes going the 1 mile and 3/8 distance. And if the pace does heat up on the front end, he's definitely a danger here. The winner of this race from last year is the number 4 Air Attack. And let's take a look at Air Attack winning the 2021 edition of the Stud Muffin back in March of that year. And that's him ranging up on the outside in the red cap, taking over from Musical Heart, who was inside on this day. And he runs very well to win this race when he was in the John Toscano barn last year. The horse that he is beating, Musical Heart, did come back to win a stakes race going a marathon distance out of this. So that's a pretty good field that Air Attack is beating. The problem is Air Attack was in very good form when he won the Stud Muffin last year. He was coming off a gigantic speed figure when he beat Claiming Foes by almost 9 lengths in his race just prior to this. Since the Stud Muffin last year, Air Attack has really gone off form. Showing on screen here are his 5 races since that victory last year, and most of them are double-digit losses. He was claimed, though, by Rob Atras prior to his last race. So he made his first start off the claim for that Rob Atras in that recent February 10th race. And that's notable because Rob Atras is the trainer that originally got Air Attack back into great form right before he won the Stud Muffin last year. The problem is he was bet down to 9-5 favoritism last time on the assumption of the public that Air Attack was going to be improved significantly off that claim by Rob Atras. And it just didn't quite happen. He ranged up at the quarter pole like he was going to win that race and just kind of flattened out in the late stages. Didn't really have much punch through the stretch. I would have wanted to see him finish better if I was going to have more confidence that he would take the necessary step forward to beat this field as he makes that other stretch out in distance to try this 11 furlong trip for the 3rd time in his career. So I'm a little bit skeptical of Air Attack, and he does feel for a hot barn like Atras that he is one that could take some money in this race. Another horse coming out of that same February 10th race at Aqueduct is the horse right to Air Attack's inside, the number 3 Battalion. Now, Battalion has not raced on dirt that much in his career. You see those last 2 races have come over the dirt track, but most of his career has been spent on the turf. And notably, he actually has gone longer distances on the turf on a few occasions. He's actually tried this 1 mile and 3/8 distance on the grass course, and he's been pretty successful at it. I think 6 and 7 starts back were those 11 furlong attempts, and one of them resulted in a victory against Optional Claiming Foes at Gulfstream. The other resulted in the best speed figure he's ever run in his career, a 1:10, when he raced a 1 mile and 3/8 last March of 2021, again at Gulfstream against the tougher Optional Claiming field. Now, he's gotten back to dirt recently. One of those resulted in a victory, but only against $10,000 claimers 2 back. He did finish behind today's rival Air Attack when he stepped up to a tougher spot to face $40,000 Claiming Foes last time. Thought he got a somewhat tentative ride from Jose Lezcano that day, was not really urged as Air Attack made that middle move to go past him on the far turn and then just really didn't have much punch through the stretch. The one thing that I think Battalion does have going for him as he races now first off the claim for new connections here with Bob Classaris taking over is that I do think the added distance could work in Battalion's favor, given that evidence I provided that he's handled the distance on the turf. He's this big strapping son of Tisnow that seems like one that should have plenty of stamina. So I think stretching out could be to Battalion's benefit. He just does have to take a step forward. I'd let Price be my guide with him, though. It does seem like he's one that could drift up and be a decent price in the 6 to 8 to 1 range in this race. I'd be hoping for a similar price on the number 7 Jakari. And let's take a look at his race 2 back when he won at Aqueduct on January 13th. This was a starter allowance race going the 1.125 distance, so he is one of many horses in here who will be stretching out to the 1.375 distance, an extra 2 furlongs for the first time in his career. But my confidence that he can get that distance was somewhat bolstered by the way he finishes this race going the shorter trip, because he really runs through the wire effectively. He's got a big head of steam built up as he comes to the top of the stretch, runs by the leaders. Now, he did receive a fast pace to close into in this starter allowance race, but I like the way he finished things up, and I'm not going to hold his race subsequently at Parks against him too much, because Parks is just a venue where certain other barns seem to have the magic formula, so I won't hold it against some newer connections that Jakari did not do well in that race at Parks last time. If he runs back to his race 2 back and can take a slight step forward, I think he's a player in this race. And I've always had this opinion about Jakari since he began his career in Todd Pletcher's barn when I was watching him when he started out in Florida, that he's the kind of horse that wants to run all day. He's just got that big loping stride to him. He's a son of Curlin, an excellent stamina influence. On the dam side, his dam's a half-sister to Belmont Stakes winner Fleet Alex. There's just a lot of evidence that this horse should have the stamina foundation to go a marathon distance. So if the pace does heat up, like the pace projector indicates, I think Jakari is one that could really benefit from that setup. And furthermore, I don't think he's going to take that much money in here, despite the fact that he's trained by Rudy Rodriguez, the leading trainer at Aqueduct. He's being ridden by a low-profile jockey, Luis Rodriguez Castro, who typically does not attract much support at the window. So I do think Jakari could be somewhat close to that 8-1 morning line that I pegged him at. So let's throw out picks for this race. I did put that closer, the number 7 Jakari, on top. I have nothing against the horse that I pegged as the second choice as part of that entry, the number 1A Original Intent. I have faith that he's going to get this distance. We'll see how the bettors handle that coupled entry coming in from Oaklawn Park, with Original Intent being the stronger half, but he is the logical runner that I respect the most. I'm just hoping for a better price on the number 7 Jakari, the number 3 Battalion, another horse that I think might be able to inject some value into the exotics. And I'm a little bit against the number 5 Blewitt, the horse that I did peg as that morning line favorite. Just didn't want to take a horse at a short price trying a new distance for the first time in the Stud Muffin on Saturday at Aqueduct. Good luck if you're playing the races this weekend.